Hey, welcome back to school, Falcons. Generally, this time of year, we are holding something called Falcon Flight School for our incoming freshmen and new students. Obviously, due to our current circumstances, we weren't able to do that. But we do understand that coming in as a freshman, there are a lot of unknowns and a lot of scary things, and a lot of like, what? Where do I even begin? So, some of your teachers have gotten together and they have put together some clips with important information for you. This first series of videos are things that we feel are very important for you to know prior to your first day of school. So, you can either watch this whole stream of videos that we have together, or each video will also be available by topic. We're covering everything from how to access your Google Classroom, if you haven't figured out how to get into your school email yet, how to access Aries, and class schedules. So those are the main topics that we'll be talking about today. If you have any questions, you can email any of the teachers on your schedule. You know where to find me on social media, probably, if you're seeing this. But anyways, I'm Miss Balsamo. I'm the athletic director. We'll talk sports closer to January. But for now, let's go to some of our teachers.
Hi, Millennial Falcons. I'm Mrs. Griffin,
Hello, everybody. My name's Mr. Young.
and we are your high school leaders of Millennium High School. The purpose of this video is to talk about student expectations while we're doing our online platform. So we're going to share with you a couple of documents, so follow along. All right. Our first document is our schedule. You'll notice in our schedule, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Young.
It's all right. So you're going to notice that we've added a 0 period this year, which starts at 7:30. Okay, 7:30. Make sure you're up and ready to go by that time. And we have a full day schedule from 7:30 all the way till 4:30 in the afternoon. We're going to follow this schedule while we are online.
Right. And Mr. Young just pointed out that there is a 0 period. Now remember, not everyone has a 0 period as part of their schedule. You are only required to take a 0 period if it is actually written into your schedule. Okay? Now, elective classes have been suspended during our online time. So if you have an elective on your original schedule and you don't notice a Google Classroom code on the schedule for that, that's because the class has been suspended. No need to panic. All that means is during that 1 hour time, that is now time for you to use as either a study hall. You can use it to do the workout videos that Coach KB has posted, or you can just use it for organizing. So it's not just free time. Use that time to effectively and wisely.
Yes, we're expecting homework to get done during that period as well. So don't forget about your homework. Speaking of homework,
to our next screen. Yeah. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Young.
Yeah, speaking of homework, let's talk a little bit about Aries. Okay, actually, Miss Griffin, if you could go back for a second, let's go back to the schedule since we're talking about Aries. Let's talk about tardies really quick. So tardies, the way tardies are going to work is if you are not in the waiting room for your class period Zoom session within the first 5 minutes, you're going to be marked tardy. So let's use second period as an example. So let's say you jump off your first period class, you hop into period 2, and you're in the waiting room. If you're not in there by 9:35 for period 2, you will be marked tardy or absent for that class period. So what we want you to do is from class to class, from class period to class period, jump from your Zoom session right into the next waiting room for the next Zoom session. You should never be late, okay? But the expectation is you're there within the first 5 minutes of that next class period, okay? So again, for period 2, that would be 9:35. For period 3, that would be 10:35. You're in that waiting room.
All right, thank you, Mr. Young. Continuing on with our schedule, we have Aries, which is available to every student on campus. We use Aries for attendance and for grades, and every student is expected to check their grades at least once a week. Get into the habit of doing it at least twice. Your teachers will update Aries every Friday, so any work that you've done or participation will always be in Aries and updated by every Friday.
So you're going to be doing work really in two ways. You're going to be doing work while you're in your Zoom sessions. Your teachers will have various assignments they'll be giving you. You'll also be given roughly an hour's worth of homework for each class each week. Now, this is going to vary per class, but it's going to be around an hour for each class. And these assignments will be updated in Aries at least once a week by your teachers. So the expectation is you're checking your grades once a week, at least once a week on Aries. Now, if you're not sure how to get onto Aries, if you're not currently logged into Aries, there's another video in this series which is going to be posted to our website. Please check it and find out how to get onto Aries.
Absolutely. All right, our next topic that we want to talk about is communication. We have several ways that we're going to communicate with our students here at Millennium High School. One of the ways is from the first screen that you saw, where we had all of our Google Classroom codes. So here's an example of the Millennium High School Information Google Classroom. Every student at Millennium should be a part of this Google Classroom. The codes will be available to you. You can see it on my screen. There it is right there. But this is one of the main places that we will always put information. This site is available to both parents and students. So all parents can get on here too, as long as they have access to get that information.
Yes, we'll also be using the Nest Google Classroom pages as well. So as you can see, this is the Armor class. So you can see the class code up there. We'll be getting you those class codes for the other classrooms this first week of school. Your teachers will be providing those to you. Make sure that you jump on. We're going to be using these Google Classroom pages as our unity for this year. We're going to be using these pages as a way to connect with you about all things Millennium and what's going on in the school while we are learning virtually. Make sure that you're on the classroom page that or the class page that you belong to.
And our last line of defense for communication is our chatter. To find the Charter Chatter, go to our school's website, tracylearningcenter.com. Across the top, go to the Community tab, and then from the Community tab, you will scroll down and be able to see Charter Chatter. This is another place where you will find very important information. And the last thing we want to talk about with you guys is online etiquette. Mr. Young, you want to talk to them about that?
Sure. So while we're Zooming or meeting, depending on what your teacher is using, first thing you want to make sure is that whatever device you're using, make sure that you have your full name on the device. So most likely your teachers are going to be using that name for their attendance. And if you don't have your name on there, then you may be marked absent or tardy for that class period, and that could become a real problem. Also, we don't want nicknames and anything else like that on there. So if you're not sure how to change the name on your on the device that you're using to Zoom or Meet, go to your settings and get your full first name and last name on there. Additionally, you need to be aware of your background. While we're Zooming and the video is on, we don't want distracting backgrounds. We don't want movement. We don't want things. We don't want you moving around, having strange things in the background. So make sure you have a place that you can be at where things are calm, they're quiet, and have that mic muted. The mic should already be muted when you go into each classroom, but keep it off while you're in there unless your teacher asks otherwise.
Exactly. Some very important tips. So those are all of our student expectations that we have so far. Of course, we have several others, but right now we'll keep it confined to that. If you have any questions about anything that we've talked about, please feel free to reach out to either myself or Mr. Young. You can shoot us an email or give us a call at the school. Good luck, and we'll get through this online experience together.
Good luck, Falcons. We'll talk to you later.
Hello everybody, this is Mr. Young. I'm one of the learning directors at Millennium High School. I'm also an elective teacher. This is a short video on how to access student emails. Let's start with the username. It is going to be the first two letters of your first name and your entire last name at tracylc.net. So in our example, if your name is Maria Garcia, your username will be MAGARCIA at tracylc.net. Occasionally we have students who have similar names, and if that's the case, then we will be using your entire first name and your entire last name at tracylc.net. So in our example, Maria Garcia at tracylc.net. If you're new to our system, then your password is going to be your student ID number. You can find your student ID number on the student schedule that was mailed to you over the summer. It's the 8-digit number located at the top. If you did not receive your student schedule for this year, you can email our counselors, Ms. Moore and Ms. Shafrin. Keep in mind, they're most likely very busy right now. They'll get back to you as soon as they can. To access your tracylc.net account, you need to go to mail.google.com. When you arrive, you should be prompted to enter a username and password. If you have any issues with the username and password, if you've tried both combinations and they're not working, you can email our Director of Technology, Mr. Steve.
Welcome, Falcons. Today, Coach Woods and I will discuss your class schedules. You should have received your schedule during the summer. Remember, school begins at 7:30 a.m. if you have a 0 period. Otherwise, most students will begin at 8:30 a.m. Again, not all students will have a 0 period. Here is the daily schedule by period. 0 period will start at 7:30 and go till 8:30 a.m. First period, 8:30 to 9:30. Second period, 9:30 to 10:30. Third period, 10:30 to 11:30. Fourth period will be your lunch from 11:30 to 12:30. Fifth period, 12:30 to 1:30. Sixth period, 1:30 to 2:30. Seventh period, 2:30 to 3:30. And eighth period will go from 3:30 to 4:30. Remember, your schedule will tell you the periods, but not the times, so you may want to write it down. To help you organize which classes to attend online, I suggest highlighting the classes you will attend online each day. If you look at my example schedule, you will see I highlighted each of those classes as well as wrote down the time and codes for each. While online, we will only attend English, math, science, social studies, which include history, geography, government, and econ, as well as languages if you have one, which would be Spanish or ASL. For juniors, you will attend Career Ed once a week on Thursdays, and seniors, you will attend internship once a week on Wednesdays. As you can see, I went to the school website, which is tracylearningcenter.com, to find all the Google Classroom codes, and I wrote them down on my schedule. Let me show you how to find the Google codes for your classes on the website. Go to the tracylearningcenter.com. You will scroll down to the link titled TLC Distant Learning, logging on to Google Classroom. You'll click on that link and that'll take you to the Charter Chatter. On the Charter Chatter, you're going to scroll down to the MHS section. You will then click on the link titled MHS 2020-21 Schedule Google Class Codes. Here, you will see the schedule and the list of teachers in alphabetical order. Make sure when you are writing down your codes, you are looking at the period and the teacher. For example, if I look at my schedule, the first class I would be attending would be Algebra 1B during second period with Mrs. Ulrichsen. I would then go back to the daily schedule and find Mrs. Ulrichsen's second period code. That's the code I would write down. Mrs. Saldate will discuss how to add each class in the next clip. Once you've added them, you can go to your Google Classroom to see all of your classes. This is where you'll find all of your class assignments. It'll look like this. Hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, you can ask any of your teachers or refer back to this video. Good luck and Falcon Pride!
Welcome back, Falcons. Today I want to talk to you about how to add your classes to your Google Classroom account. So I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to show you a few things. You should have all received your Google Classroom codes. If you have not received that, you can go to the school's homepage, tracylearningcenter.com, and it will take you to the Millennium Class Schedule Plan. So if you are a freshman and you have me this year, you would scroll down to my last name. There's going to be 2 Soldates. You want to look for the one that says Soldate Lamana. If you were to be in my second period English 1 class, you would want to enter this code, SE5F6U0. You'd want to get that code. What I would do is I would copy that code and then I would go to Google. I would just type in Google Classroom and I would do a search. In order to be able to activate your account, you're going to need to have your Tracy Learning Center email. That should have been provided to you. And you're going to need your password. Your password should be your student ID number. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click this little plus, oops, I'm sorry guys. You're going to click this plus sign right here, and you're going to click where it says join class. This is where you're going to enter that class code. That's going to give you all of the information that you are going to need for your class. You want to make sure that you enter the information for every one of the classes that you are going to have currently. Remember, currently we are only going to have English, math, science, social studies, and the languages. So make sure you're entering those class codes. That's where your teachers are going to post all of your information. Looking back at the class schedule, if you scan all the way down to the bottom, we have a couple of other class codes that are going to be really helpful for you. The first one, if you're a freshman that you want to enter, is right here. You are the graduating class of 2024. And this is going to be an information page that is going to go out to all of the freshmen. It's going to help all of you guys out. I'm Mrs. Saldate. I'm your nest leader for Kestrel, and you will be Kestrels for the next 4 years. I'm very excited to have you with us. So if you're a Kestrel, you want to make sure that you add yourself to this classroom. The other classroom that you want to add yourself to is the MHS information. This is going to be basic information about the school year that will be relayed to you. And this is a really good way for you to keep track of what's happening around the school. It could be if we're having spirit days, if there's other information that you need to know. If you have any specific questions regarding this, you can email any of your teachers and we would be more than happy to help you. We look really forward to seeing you start on Monday. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Shafran.
And I'm Miss Moore.
And welcome to the Millennium High School Counseling Office. We would like to share a few things with you guys. Unfortunately, this year, we didn't have our Falcon Flight School, so we didn't get to meet you all in person. But one of the topics that's really important for you to be aware of is how to check your grades in Aries. For all students, it's important to know where you are, how are you doing academically, and where your grades are at. So we wanted to do a quick tutorial for you to learn how to set up your account and to go and access your grades.
We recommend checking your grades at least once a week. Twice is better, 3 times is even better, but at minimum once a week. so you know where you are.
In order to set up your Aries account, you're going to need some really important information, such as your student ID number, the telephone number that we have in our Aries database, as well as something called a verification passcode. And what I've shared with you at this point is kind of a sneak preview of what it will look like when you actually go in to set up your account. This information will actually be mailed to you due to confidentiality. So our goal will be to send it out to you in the mail today, and you should be receiving it the first week of school.
Yes. So once you receive that letter, it lays out really specific instructions on how to set up your account. And I'm going to show you where to go to start creating that account. So the easiest way to find this information is to actually go to our school's homepage, which is at www.tracylearningcenter.com. By the way, there's a lot of great information here, so I highly recommend you visit. But when you're ready to set up your Aries account, you're going to go up here to the right-hand corner and click Aries Login. The first time you set up your account, you're going to type in your email here and then click Create New Account. But after that happens, you can use the same link to log into your account to check your grades weekly. And parents are able to create their own accounts, so I highly recommend that parents do. Students as well are able to create their own accounts.
Some best practices to remember is each student at the Tracy Learning Center actually have their own email account. And by now, as an incoming freshman, you will know what your email address is as well as your password to get into your account, which happens to be your student ID number. So best practice would be to create your Aries account using your tracylc.net email. That way you can go in and verify the information that you are you and get that all set up. Initially, the process might take you a little bit longer than it normally would, but once you actually have access, you can actually check your grades from any mobile device, from any laptop, your cell phone. It's actually very easy to do, and it is something that you want to definitely get in the habit of doing. If you are a student coming from Discovery, you should already have access to your Aries, and so it shouldn't be anything new to you. But if you are not familiar with it, you'll definitely want to make sure to follow the instructions step by step, as well as your parents.
So, students and parents, remember, it is a best practice to check your grades at least once a week.
If you have any problems or issues, you are always welcome to contact us at mhscounseling@tracylc.net. Thank you and good luck.
Have a great year.